Hello, and welcome to Andrew Broussard Watercolors. Meaden recently reached out and asked me if there was anything that I wanted to review or feature in my videos. They're starting their back to school specials, and then they're doing an anniversary. I'm not sure how many years they've been going for, but they're going to be running stuff like that. And I'm a Meaden affiliate, so I feature the stuff on here whenever I get it and utilize it and just talk about it. And if you order anything from Meaden, if you use code Andrew, you get 10% off, and I get a 10% commission. So anyway, I asked for some hot press paper. They did not have it in. Oh, they did. Okay, I'm really stoked on this. I thought it was going to be a pad and not a block, but it's a block, which is awesome. That's just perfect. I was thinking I was going to have to use clips and stuff like usual. So anyway, just got to find the spot where it says open right there, where you take off this initial sheet. The first time I ever got a block, I looked at that and I was like, what is going on? And I thought there was some sort of mistake. So you just use a palette knife, go around the edges. I find if the palette knife's on an angle like this as opposed to here, it's more likely to cut through it and cut out. All right. I don't know if this is like an antiquated thing, putting this protective sheet in front of it. So I was looking through some old Claude Lorraine albums, and they had blue paper, and it kind of talked about that being what they would have on the front and back of a book. So anyway, this one's 9 by 12. So I'm going to mark it down to 8 by 10. I'm just using a mat for this. So the mat's cut perfectly square and 8 by 10. So just put it center. And there we go. And I do that because I kind of want to get the size correct. I've been cutting them out, mounting them, and putting them open face with the frame without glass. And if I was using a mat, we'd have a little bit of overhang. And since I'm painting more detail, I know where I don't have to fiddle around. In the past, I would paint from edge to edge, and usually the paper that I was working with was very close to the size that I was going to get to begin with. So let's talk about today's painting. First, that quick thing of you could always follow along, sign your own name, sell anything you do when you follow along. I want you guys to have money for art supplies and to have fun. And over time, you're going to develop your own style. It's all part of the process. And that being said, if you like this channel, if you want to support it, I have the Patreon, which is linked down below. And thank you to everybody that supports on there. I really appreciate it. Okay, let's see. So there we go. Composition wise, the other day I did a composition from a photograph that I took at my buddy Bill's house, and I filmed a part 1 with it, and then people like the part 1, so I think I might just leave it the way it is and restart the composition with a different approach. So that being said, I know I'm talking a lot and now I'm finally starting to paint. Let's start washing in colors. So I still haven't truly sketched out this composition in pencil and looked at tonal values and placement, but for the most part it does seem like everything sits in good place. So ultramarine, sky, I'm going to look at a Naples yellow. Here's yellow ochre. just kind of thinking about the palette a little bit differently. With the previous one, it was pretty much yellows and greens, and like literally just running the whole range of convenience greens. So this one, I think we're going to be green and probably earth pigments. This is a rich green gold. Here's what's its name? Van Dyke Brown. A little bit of water right here, but we can go back and forth between the concept of a path or a waterway. We'll see how it comes out as we paint and we pick around. We get rid of that big brush. Oh, by the way, this one is a Fumi brush, the squirrel mop. This is the golden maple, the natural white hair that I really, really like. Okay, so I'm thinking more, this is yellow ochre or gold ochre is what Rembrandt brand called this one. And I'm going to use it to kind of model some of the stuff in the background, and I'll probably adjust colors. But this is a cane field back here. And then we're going to have distant trees that come above that. And I'll paint more into it whenever we dry it off. Rich green gold. With this stage, it's just, you know, blocking things in and getting a feel for the composition and the color. And I've been using the New York Central hot press, and I've been wanting a Meeden hot press pad, you know, since I, you know, affiliated with them. And I'm excited to see how the paper turns out. I'd used their cold press in the past, in previous videos when they sent it. They also sent a 12 by 16 pad, so we're set for paper. And I can talk about their products for a while. And we're going to have bushes right here, but I figured I'll do a dry off and then I'll put them in. Actually, let me just grab undersea green right now. Work started back up. Tomorrow is the first day the students come back. If you didn't know, I'm a school teacher. And, you know, the past few days we've been having the in-services and stuff like that. Last year was an absolute just train wreck, and we have a new administration and stuff like that going on. Not, you know, saying that there was anything wrong with the previous administration or anything like that, but it was just, I think they had gotten overwhelmed. There was just so much going on and that needed to be done, and they were being pulled in a lot of different directions. So that's the story there. But this year, I am teaching 3 math classes. 2 of them are advanced math. So pretty much seniors that are on the track to go towards college, so preparing them for essentially college math. And 2 years ago, I did the certification to teach the LSU DE college math. So I'll be teaching that this year, which is really exciting. Excuse me. When I went to high school, I had graduated with like 24, 26 college credits from high school. And it's really great that we could offer that opportunity, at least the start of that opportunity for high school students. Kind of feeling a little muddy right now, but we'll push it back and forth. We'll see. Let me pause the camera for a dry off. I kind of want to play with specific colors in certain spots and see where I want to go with it. This is the Naples yellow. And while I'm doing that, I mentioned the art math classes I'm teaching, but this year will be the first time that I have art classes. So I have 2 art 1s, and then art 2 and 3 are together in a class period. And I'm really excited. Since the new administration is coming in, they want kind of a school beautification project. So I have a lot of great ideas for that. We even actually set up a little gallery in the front of the school. The principal had asked for it, and we started off with my artwork in it. And it should be in the newspaper, like the local newspaper, about it. And then in a month or two, I'm going to either find a local artist or one of the students, if they have some works, like 2 or 3 of them, and we'll start rotating that gallery out. So the school will have an art gallery. Okay, so this is the Naples yellows. I'm going to do something drastic or try something different. This is a Daniel Smith color that's Tiger's Eye Genuine. So it's just kind of a brown. And I want to see how it works with these Naples yellows that have the white pigment in them. Also have a burnt Tiger's Eye to try it with. Somebody had commented on one of the free YouTube videos saying that I was using too many colors and they didn't have the colors, and for a simple painting I should only use 4. So on YouTube and on Patreon I have tons of videos that show 1 pigment, 2 pigment, 3 pigment, 4, etc. And the past year, the main focus has been really expanding the palette to see what I reach for. Replacements for this could simply just be mixtures of burnt umber and brown umber. Okay. Let's do some wiping back. Here's some rich green gold over that. It didn't dry, so it's going to lift. And let's not pass it over the whole thing, just kind of sporadically in parts, just so we start building up texture and color. Okay. I went on the whole work tangent and school tangent because my coworker Shane, who is a phenomenal guy, absolutely love him, and if you ever watched King of the Hill, he's Hank Hill, and he teaches ag and the welding, so definitely Hank Hill. Anyway, so he asked about this painting, and he said he didn't know the terminology, but he really liked, how you could see that the trees were in the background and other ones were closer. And he was describing the depth and the linear perspective and the perspective of size that was taking place. He's always been a big supporter of my works as well. So I love the guy. think he's got 2 or 3 more years before he retires. All right, and this is the undersea green. Just looking at this bush, it's a little bit closer. The Chinese brush is really good at kind of spreading out and giving those textures. And I've talked in previous videos about how I modify my Chinese brushes. We don't quite have enough on it yet to make marks that we want. So we're just going to continue working the painting. So this is exploratory in the sense of looking at the browns with the greens. This is some green raw umber. In my head, I'm envisioning kind of a certain style. And this painting cycle, a big thought in my head has been, I'm not painting what I see, I'm painting how I want to represent it, how I want to see it. And not so much in an abstract sense, but in a tonality sense, in a palette sense, and a mood and a feel. Rich green gold. And I'm looking for texture on top of texture. Paper towel just to kind of see if we can pull any out. Let's see. It's kind of funny, like the Naples yellow winds up feeling darker than I want it to at times. And there's a lightness that I've been trying to chase that I just haven't been getting. This is buff titanium. And of course I can lift in these spots, but that's just not the direction I'm going in right now with the painting. If I was to sit here and lift some, yeah, it might help. Undersea green. This is the tall growth on the other side. I mentioned in the video that the previous one, me and my buddy Bill, he was installing a big metal fence that he was welding together, like a big archway. So I was over there helping him out, and I commented on how tall the grass was. He's got 20-something acres of property, but he has goats, and I'm like, what's going on? Why aren't the goats chomping it down? The grass is just growing so fast down here in Louisiana, the goats can't keep up. That's right, raw sienna. I've been neglecting that quite a bit. It has that warmth to it, so it's helping it push forward. Let's see. Gold ochre. little bit of burnt umber. Van Dyke Brown. So this paper is different from the New York Central. And I think for the most part, it's common to feel differences between papers. I used to use a lot of the Stonehenge paper, and that was after buying a whole bunch of different Fabrianos and Winsor Newton and all this other stuff to kind of compare the paints. And you kind of find something that you get used to, because there's kind of, I guess, almost a little adjustment period that takes place with different papers. And I think that's what I'm feeling a little bit here, because I feel like it's getting a little bit maybe splotchier than usual, but my approach might be a little different than the previous one. So we'll keep an eye out for that and see. Green gold. But it might be even more conducive to layering and just really kind of work together. Right now it kind of gives like 1970s texture within the Hobbit animated movie. Which, yeah, if you've never seen, definitely you got to watch it. The artwork is fantastic. And then they made two based off of the Lord of the Rings series back in, I think, the 80s. And one was by the same company, one was by a different company. One of them was kind of crummy, while the other one has the same amazing dark background artwork. Let's try off. So I do want to mention, not really much buckling with this paper. One thing that I hate with watercolor paper is that if I can't stretch it out and if it's buckling, if the water creates those marks to start pouring down there, it's a beautiful look if you're going for it, but it's just not something that I go for. So that's kind of my big thing with paper. So it's holding up in that regard. Also looking for the same concept of like texture and variety taking place. Undersea green. It'd be nice to bring some of these out over this, and that'll be more later on. Raw sienna. It would be interesting to grab like a earth red. Here's burnt sienna. Now we can probably get a lot of interesting marks. In a bit, I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to wind up coming back for more just because she texted me that she's leaving work now and on the way home. And today was their first day of school. And she does the before and after care at the school. She's the director there. It's got a little bit later schedule. So trying to figure out the best schedule for skateboarding and painting after work, as well if there need to be like house chores, like mowing. Undersea green. Let's see. This is the greenish raw umber. So that's what I mean by I'm using a lot of pigments, that I'm just kind of exploring back and forth and seeing what I want to use where. And then eventually the goal is, subconsciously or consciously, I'll, figure out different palettes for different occasions. And we've come across quite a few so far. You just put vertical lines back there. We do a dry off. I want to get some trees in the place, some background trees. I'm going to use the Van Dyke Brown for it. I'm debating putting in the house that's in the picture. Now these guys sit up and are back further in the painting. But they are taller. So to push it back, we can have less detail in them. We can also have lighter tonal values, colors that are cooler. For right now, I'll just get a little more water on the brush. And we'll start it off lightly as we build up throughout the painting process. So just getting the general idea right now. Just grabbing like palette mud. All right, let's see. Let's do some lifting right there. This paper is very smooth. I have a lighter. Okay. I just see green. Greenish raw umber. Just going with colors that'll sit back for right now. I'm going to put a closer tree in here. Lift it up a little bit because it's just pushing a little too far forward. Rich green gold. Let me try it. So I'm going to stop this video here and I'll be back with more. So stay tuned. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll work on this some more in the next video. You all take care and have a great day. Bye.